Ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Kenda Qualman. If you don't know the name, you know it now, and I hope you continue to pay attention to it. But before we get into it, Miss Kenda, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been kind of a long day for you.
It's been a long day. But hey, we here today.
Yeah.
I'm with you. We moving and grooving.
Absolutely. You're an entrepreneur, especially the caliber of entrepreneur that you are. you don't really get too much chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially right now, because you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So it's grind time. It's grind time, and we hope that you find your breaks here and there. So Ms. Kenda has her own business, and we're going to talk about that right now. It's called Beauty Sleep. She just launched a podcast, which is really, really exciting. It was quite a bit of a process to make it happen.
Yeah.
But, definitely, it's going on episode 2 already. And then also, she has an event that she put together that it isn't just about her growth, but it's about helping others create their own opportunities to grow. And so we're going to talk about that in just a second as well. But first, let's talk about Beauty Sleep. How long you been doing Beauty Sleep?
It's going on 3 years.
3 years. Oh, that's good timing right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, they say a lot of businesses fail like within the first 2 years or the first year, this, that, and the other. So you've been going strong.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, it was something that you kind of like, it's your thing, but you started out like with your family. Like it was a lot of support from, like, was it your mother and your daughter?
Well, we were actually, it's funny. We went to the Dells for my mom's birthday one year, and we were just all laying around in our regular T-shirts and stuff. And then we just were like, none of us have pajamas.
Yeah, light bulb moment.
Yeah, and it was like, why? Why don't we? And then it was like, because they're ugly everywhere. Like, we just don't find any cute pajamas. So then we just start brainstorming, and Beauty Sleep was born. So I'm actually still in partnership with my mom and my sister. I just kind of took on like the marketing piece more and the advertising piece.
That's major. 3 years later, from a Wisconsin Dells trip where you didn't have pajamas.
Where we didn't have pajamas, right?
Like that, it'd be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like ideas just come to us and like, oh, you know, not only could we create like some cute stuff and some comfortable stuff, or, you know, appealing things, but we could turn this into a business.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's how God works. And so, did you know before that, you know what I mean, that you were meant to be an entrepreneur and start what me and you are at least calling this type of spiritual journey?
Ooh, that's a good question. I knew it, yes. I was actually raised by entrepreneurs. My mom and my dad had a commercial cleaning business growing up. So we were working at 12 years old for the family business, me and my siblings. And my dad just kind of instilled in us, and my mom instilled in us, hey, work for yourself. And my dad always said, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. Well, there's two sides to that coin.
It is.
On one side, you know what I mean, you're lucky, you know what I mean, and privileged to have seen entrepreneurship and to have had that instilled in you, because it was like until my stepdad used to always say, you know, you got to have a job, you got to get a job, you know what I mean, what you going to do about Social Security, you know what I'm saying, and all these types of things.
Yeah, benefits.
And it's like, it took him a while. Like, he didn't really accept that I was going to be my own boss until I was like 30-something years old. And then he changed it up. Like, well, since you're going to do that, make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's and, you know, start giving me different advice.
Look at that.
But the point is, I think a lot of people from before our generation, that's just what they were taught, you know, get a good job, maybe go to school, you know what I'm saying, if it's affordable for you, this, that, and the other. And so, but now our children and our grandchildren are really going to understand entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
and we've always been entrepreneurs, you know what I mean? It's always been our thing. We needed something, we created something, and somebody came along and stole it. But it was always been there, but we've been so blind to our own history of creating and pioneering. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the other side of that coin is that it was against the law for y'all to be working at 12.
Man, they was pulling us left and right to them accounts, cleaning up car dealerships, banks, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, good lessons, great lessons. So
yeah.
Beauty Sleep, how would you describe what your business offers?
My business offers quality sleepwear, cute sleepwear, trendy sleepwear. It can be for yourself. It can be a really nice gift. It really just, it's our way of saying, hey, just because you're going to sleep at night doesn't mean you got to turn your beauty down. Like, you can still look good when you go to sleep if you want to. You know, you can still have that. A lot of our stuff, too, people can do slumber parties and have, like, there's a lot of different events that women get together and they wear sleepwear.
They do.
So they can.
Can I come?
I've seen some co-ed pajama parties.
Okay,
I've seen some.
I've heard of some. I've never been to one myself. But you know, like Kenda said, something that you could, you know, like really do for you.
Yeah.
But I've seen some stuff on IG for beauty sleep, and ladies, you know, like she said, do it for you. But us men are gonna like it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna like you going to beauty sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have some trouble getting to sleep.
You just might. Hey, but then that means it's working. Because you're going to be knocked after that.
Absolutely. Anything else about beauty sleep? Anything else that'll describe it or why people should reach out to you and get your products?
Because we truly believe in the experience when it comes to being a consumer and having a partnership with your, with companies that you're interested in. So even as a smaller business, we really take pride in that piece. So we go above and beyond when it comes to communicating. We have different lines of communication for our customers. We drop stuff off. We give them the option to pick up. We ship. So we really try to make it convenient as well.
Absolutely.
And we try to stay on top of like the trends and stuff like that. So the sleepwear that we do have is, you'll see it consistently as far as like the type of style that we're shooting for. But, you know, making sure that it meets the eye as far as what anybody would be looking for and what we would be looking for. So we're just girls, you know, and I think that's the best part, is we're just normal girls from Milwaukee who just, you know, want to see girls live their best life. And part of that is the way you sleep. The way you sleep is also important. So,
girl power.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is, and I've always said this for years when it comes to business, I know that poverty is our enemy, and a lot of us want to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But I think that it's equally as important to be an entrepreneur and to be the author of your own future as it is to serve others.
I agree.
You know, like if you're in business. And so like this might be the thing that I do to make money, but how can I make this thing an experience that serves my community? And I think that one of the ways that you're going to be able to do that and are doing that is through those communication options, making it, you know what I'm saying, more convenient for the customer, really creating a business module that's based on consumer truth or based on the customer's needs versus, this is a hustle for me and I just got to get it. You know, no, like you're doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I've had dialogue with you. And you know, you're welcome. But you know, I've had dialogue with you, and it's just always been good conversation because a lot of the way that you think comes from a good place. You know what I'm saying? Like your parents did more than just teach you about entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? They instilled some great values in you.
Yeah.
So it's a great experience interacting with you. Now, other people are going to, like, even more people are going to get this opportunity to experience Kenda and just how good of a mind you have and a good heart that you have. And they might even get to see the part of you that's like, don't play with me too. and they're going to be able to hear this and view this through a podcast that you just started over at Tone Deaf Radio Network, TDR Network. Yes. And you're on episode 2.
I am.
Yeah.
Well, I just completed it. I finished it yesterday.
Completed it. Yeah. And I did catch a lot of it in celebration of National Best Friend Day.
Yes.
And interesting. We met on a podcast.
Yes, we did, at the same network in them same chairs.
We met. Shout out to Lachelle Hooks, who is the host and facilitator of Shine Your Light podcast.
Yes. Sending love, Lachelle.
Like, thank you so much. This has been a great connection, and she kept saying that, you know, in that meeting. This is just some forever connections.
She did.
So Shaquille Nicole was there. She's a guy was there. You were there, and I were there.
Yeah.
So it was phenomenal, and I've been connecting with all of y'all. You know
ever since, huh?
Like ever since. So it's definitely been amazing. And so now you've started yours called Mind Your Own podcast.
Minding my own.
Minding my own.
Yep.
Okay, minding my own with Kenda.
With Kenda, yes.
With Kenda. So let's talk about that real quick.
Okay.
What is the personal motivation behind minding my own?
So I've always been the type of person to stay out the way. Like literally, I'm out the way. Like I have a very small group of friends, and I was in my shell for a while, just kind of doing me. And so minding my own podcast is like an outlet now. Yeah. It's like I'm still minding my business, but I'm bringing some of y'all into my world.
Right.
And so I just wanted to start something where I'm talking to real people about real issues and really just digging deep into different like ideas or perception when it comes to different topics and real things happening. So minding my own podcast just gets everybody a chance to come on and say, hey, this is how I really feel. Like when I'm in my zone, this is how I feel. Like whether you looking, whether someone else is looking, I don't care. Right. This is still how I feel about this. Right. So that's kind of what minding my own podcast represents for me. Is saying, hey, look, this is who I am. This is how I feel. And I'm open to listening to everybody else's opinion. But hey, this is still what I'm going to do at the end of the day.
Right. It's you expressing yourself, but it's also open forum. Everybody can have their own thoughts and own opinions. But, real change and evolution kind of happens when people are able to share those experiences, share those ideas, and get an outlook. Like it might be something that I might think somebody saying like, "Oh, that's really interesting. Oh my God, it's not for me," but that's really interesting.
Yes, and I've seen that quite a bit so far. Like we've talked about a number of things, and I'll hear somebody's point of view, and I'm like, you know what, that actually makes sense. But so does what I'm saying. Right. So I see what you mean, though. Now my mind is open. Now, like I can see that. Right. But you still stay true to your values, your beliefs, or whatever. And sometimes things might change, but for the most part. I think a lot of times when it comes to like finding a solution to anything or even having a certain ideology or perspective, it's good to know the options, and a lot of times we have those conversations, so we learn about more options. Right. But then we still have to consider our capacity. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like even though that's great, I'm not in the capacity to really particularly take that route. You know what I'm saying? Not the way that, you took it. My path gonna be a little more customized. Absolutely. Yep. So that's dope and that's amazing. So now, Miss Kenda, not only that, like first of all, let's start here. Well, okay. Kenda has an event that she launched. She did it once so far called Coach My Growth. Yes. And we're going to talk about that. We are. But Kenda also made a post about entrepreneurship is more of a spiritual journey. It is. And everything. Yes. Anything. And so I've kind of like customized. I've taken that and customized it, like in my own way when I've been having conversations with people. I've been saying, entrepreneurship is the new ministry. It is. You know what I mean? And that was confirmed to me when I was sitting here with Brad Fax, and he really began to expound on how entrepreneurship was our way of creating things and how we did that, like out of necessity. Yeah. And go ahead. I think one of the coolest parts, and even though it was a crazy time, think about the pandemic. How many people's lives were saved because they got into entrepreneurship? Right. Because they said, I'm sick of this. I'm going to find something I'm passionate about. I'm going to get creative. I'm going to make money doing this, and I'm going to network. And those people are very, very successful because they took a crazy situation and went on a spiritual journey. Right. It was totally spiritual. People literally will tell you that saved their life. Yeah. That's crazy, right? Yeah, there's a lot of people started businesses. Yeah. And a good percentage of them were real businesses. Like, let me get these loans and all this money. PPP. Let me do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, and I'm just going to give the people the benefit of the doubt
to believe that somebody was lying on some paperwork. And then they said, you know what? If I could do this and to get this money, what would happen if I did it for real?
What would happen if I did it for real?
And so,
that's
man,
so funny.
like, so in a way, the pandemic has definitely been a major blessing.
Yeah, very interesting twist.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Yeah. Just like something that, like, I didn't attend the first one, but I am so just amazed by Coach My Growth. Like, so before I was on the podcast with you, with Lachelle, I had already seen promotions for Coach My Growth.
Nice. That means we're doing something right.
Yeah, definitely. And I do marketing, so I know how the algorithm works. So you definitely was doing some right stuff. So I ended up following you from that. And interesting enough, like, before I met you or anything like that, I automatically just assumed that this was like some type of national platform thing that was happening all across the country, and somebody got hired as a chapter for Milwaukee, you know what I mean, and was bringing it here.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Like, that's I mean, from the branding of it, just the way that it looked, from the flyer, to how I interpreted what Coach My Growth meant before I even had any real dialogue with you about it.
Yeah.
So let's just tell the story real quick about where the idea to create or give people the opportunity to create their own success, where did that really come from?
It came from me starting Beauty Sleep and seeing the challenges during the startup. First of all, I realized if you don't know anyone, your business isn't going to go anywhere. So you have to network.
Correct.
And secondly, it was like, hey, there's a lot of resources that are out there, but people don't know how to get them. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So how can we make sure people get the right information? And how can we set this up to where it's for the long term? Like, actually really building like this big family. You know what I mean? Right. And so I felt that these are all the things that I experienced. I wanted to give someone else an experience that would eliminate some of those challenges. Right. And so I said, imagine coaching. I had heard someone make a quote, and I can't remember who it was, but they said, everybody needs a coach. Giannis needs a coach. You know what I mean? Yeah. Serena Williams got a coach. Yeah, like some of the dopest, most richest athletes and people in other areas. You know, you hear about life coaches all the time. And then I also noticed, like, in social media, there's a lot of motivational speakers. There's a lot of people doing those like reels, and they're uplifting people and getting people on track. I said, there's a lot that we can do with everything that we're learning and seeing. And I said, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create an event that we're going to do consistently, giving small businesses and people who aspire to be business owners a safe place where they can come and ask the questions, get the resources, meet the right people. And we're going to tailor it. We're going to customize it and personalize that experience. Instead of just having just a regular mixer or just some type of conference, what are we really missing? We're missing the capability for the consumer to have some sort of control over the information that they're receiving in those type of environments. Right. So let's give them some control. Let's let them drive. Right. And then we'll be there to support. Right. So I wanted to make sure people understood, like, this is your platform. This is for you. Right. We just need you guys to come get the help you need, and we'll always be here for you. Right. And so that's what I needed when Beauty Sleep started, and that's what I wanted to create to give everyone else. And so I kind of just took them along my journey so that I could learn and then have everybody else come learn too.
Right. And that's another thing that's so dope about it. You're not presenting yourself like you're the coach or you're the coach of coaches and like you know it all and have it all. you're taking something like, hey, here are some of my challenges.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do to help address some of my own challenges. And it's like, hey, I know I can't be the only person dealing with some of these challenges. And everybody's challenges might be different.
Yep.
So I'm just going to create an event, and I'm going to reach out to some coaches and say, hey, I'm going to get a whole bunch of people like me who need coaching into a room.
Yep.
And give y'all an opportunity to pitch what y'all going to pitch, and then maybe y'all are able to pick up. But what's interesting about it, even though there's the element of coaches may get some exposure and gain more clients and stuff like that, because we want businesses to succeed, especially if you're dedicated to this thing and this is genuinely what you want to do with your life, is to assist and aid other people.
Right.
But this specific program, it's like you're saying, it's more about their potential customers.
Absolutely.
So you're getting the people together, say, hey, what do you think you need? What do you need? What do you need to work on? And you're allowing those people to create the questions. And then you're sending them to the potential coaches.
Yep.
And so now the coaches have to actually go do homework.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
They have to actually get to know them.
Right. And then come back not with their syllabus or programming or brochure that they've been using for the last year, and they try to offer to everybody that they come in contact with. Yep. They have to really think about, like, what services do I provide, or what subject matters or whatever am I expertise in that I can talk about with these specific people who have these specific questions.
Yep.
And so that's real service. You know what I mean? That's like going back when I said about businesses operating based on consumer truth, and not just, this is the brand, I need to meet the quota, this, that, and the other. It's
right.
Like,
it's not the dangling of the carrot,
Yeah.
If you think about it, like they put a carrot in front of a donkey, just hoping to get it. Just keep following and keep hoping to get it. I didn't want that. Like, I was experiencing that. It was like, I'm going to give you just enough information, and then you got to go find the rest. Yeah. And then there were like 10 roads to find the rest. Yeah. It was very, very frustrating. Yeah. I'm like, why is this so bad? And then you come across people who have been in the business, they're successful, but they don't want to give you all the information. They kind of feel a way about you asking, like, hey, I had to do this, and the third. You need to do it too. And it's like, oh, so you struggle, so you want me to struggle. Well, what the heck is that about? So why are we doing that to each other? There's no reason for it. No one should hold on to information. If you've got it, give it away. Help people. But not everybody believes in that. And so I wanted to create a place where everybody believes in that. Everybody who participates in this believes in that. Even if you come as a coach, if you're there helping to plan, if you're there as an attendee, if you're there as a vendor, everyone has an opportunity to participate. Like, I literally kept everybody up to date with the progress and what was going on with the entire event. Everybody felt like they were a part of it in some way. And they were. And I also give people the chance to transition from one role to another. So, for example, if I had a coach last event that wants to help be part of the planning committee this time, then they can transition, and they help participate in finding a replacement, finding someone who is just as talented, just as skilled in that area. And it gives them a chance to step away from the usual that they're used to and take another seat somewhere else to elevate something else they might have always wanted to do, which might be planning. Right. They might want to come as a vendor next time. Yeah. They might want to come and just participate, in any other way, shape, or form. So
that's where that community piece just comes in at, what I mean? And as the visionary for this, I think that it's great the way that you're steady looking at it. How can it be better? What can I move? What can I do? All of those types of things. And I think that before you even have it all together in your head, like, I think this is going to be a thing that you're going to start to see grow so beyond you. You know what I mean? That you ain't going to have no choice but to be like, all right, now we need some money because we got to hire some people to go do this in Chicago. We go do this in Atlanta and New York. They want this over here. They want this in Japan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, like, y'all need to stay tuned. Check out Beauty Sleep. Check out the podcast. It's on all podcasting platforms, right?
Yep.
But you can also definitely follow Kenda Qualman. She'll be tagged and stuff like that. Check out these lives, get to know her. But then also stay tuned for Coach My Growth.